Cassie.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, creepy people.
Hello.
This is PNW Haunts and Homicides, where we chat about true crime, the paranormal, spooky things. We're heading into spooky season.
We are there.
And just generally all things creepy in the Pacific Northwest. PNW, if you're nasty.
And you are the nastiest. You know, we didn't say that last episode. We forgot.
Yeah.
So sad. It's
What are you
sad when
gonna
we
do?
forget things.
It is really sad. It is really sad.
It happens on the daily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm forgetting things all the time.
You know what we never forget?
What?
To do a tarot reading at the end of the episode, which we do in every episode for just a little deeper insight into our topic for the day.
So true. So true.
How could you forget tarot?
I don't even know. I can't fathom.
You can't forget.
No.
Never forget.
Never forget. Yes, exactly. Hashtag never forget. Oh man. Yeah, please don't hashtag anything that you're tagging us in with never forget.
Yeah,
because I feel
don't.
like that's probably a very different audience.
A little problematic.
Potentially. I'm just saying I think that probably it's just a different demographic, possibly.
Yeah. Kind of the misuse of that term is problematic. So we never said it. Never happened.
Yeah.
We cut it out of this
Please don't
episode and it's
cancel
gone.
Anyway.
You know what I want to forget? Probably what you're about to talk about.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. So about that.
So let it rip so that I can forget. Does that kind of rhyme?
Yeah. There you go. I like it. Well, we ended up going to Oktoberfest down in Bend. And you're not even going to believe how unintentionally perfect the two cases that I've been working on kind of worked out to be. For heading into spooky season.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying something Oktoberfesty.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's the perfect marriage. And the timing couldn't have been better. So I guess, no, I'm not going to say thank you, COVID. But
yeah, don't do that.
But yeah, no, the timing is perfect because this is, I think, going to be our first episode for October.
It is.
Yeah. Starting it off right. We went to Oktoberfest at the McMinimans down in Bend. And I was like, oh, this is going to probably come out around that same time. Sweet.
Weird.
It's oddly appropriate. Okay. Today, I'm going to tell you about a disappearance that took place in the 1960s.
Okay.
Which is probably going to make these next few paragraphs seem kind of confusing. But, I mean, you just might want some of this background as we venture down the rabbit hole.
I want all the background.
Yeah. You know how we love strange things about history and true crime and, of course, synchronicities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Adolf Herman Coors.
Okay, you scared me for like a second.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm going to address that shortly.
Okay.
Adolf Herman Coors was born in Germany in 1847.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a long time before the 60s.
Sure was. Yeah. I'm going to reference the most common spelling I was able to find because it's significant in regards to this man's name for more than one reason, as fate would have it. So the complete spelling of his full name, Adolph.
Okay.
So different spelling of Adolf. Herman, which always comes out a little bit more French or anyways, Herrman. I think that's how the other guy with that name spelled it too. Unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Common German names. Coors, Kohrs. Okay.
That makes sense for German.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But just remember the spelling.
Okay.
It's significant. And not just because of the other Adolf. At just 15, he began work as an apprentice at a brewery in Germany.
Ooh, that would be
Yes.
really cool.
I know.
Like a German brewer.
Dream internship. There, he learned how to make beer, run a brewery, and presumably how to compete in beer drinking competitions, such as Das Boot.
Yeah, the training is
Yes.
so intense.
Intense.
Sounds like really Pacific Northwest too, with the brewery and the beer and the
It does, right?
drinking.
It's very on brand for us. But as was the dream of many young people striving for more the world over, Adolf immigrated to the United States at age 21.
Drinking age, perfect to
I
come
know.
to the
I
U.S.
think back then
It
the
was-
drinking age was like, can you reach
Yeah.
the bar top? He stowed away on a ship headed to Baltimore, Maryland. Somewhere along the way, he decided to embrace his new life by changing his surname to Coors with a C,
Ooh.
which we know was fairly common for many European immigrants at this time, particularly those coming from Germany, because, you know, the spelling of German, and for that matter, a lot of Irish names, very, it was a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
And the immigrants weren't always super popular, even though literally we're all. Anyways, before we get lost down that rabbit hole, he spoke very little English and didn't likely have a nickel to his name as he headed west, much like Fievel.
Is that like the Mouse movie?
Yeah, Fievel goes west. For a second, I was like, oh God, I'm deeply embarrassed. I'm like such a dork. She doesn't know who Fievel is.
You're still a dork, and I do know who Fievel is.
Whatever. My friend Fievel and I are going to head out west.
I don't know why, but I feel like that movie scared me.
Yeah, I feel like I remember there maybe being scary parts.
But like, I like scary
I don't know
things.
why.
I don't know why that movie would have like scared me. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to rewatch it and then.
Yeah. Maybe alarming realism. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I got nothing. He was in search of new opportunities in a yet untamed land. He arrived in Denver, Colorado in 1872, where he worked multiple jobs, nearly without rest. He basically worked like 6 days a week, forever and ever, amen.
Oh, what's that like?
I know,
Weird.
right? Weird. Saving money in the hopes of opening his very own brewery.
Oh, I was going to say,
So-
did he get to work at a brewery?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to actually be better than that. It's going to be a lot better. In 1873, Adolf went into business with Jacob Schuler, opening Golden Brewery.
Ooh.
So he did one better than working at a brewery.
Got some golden beer.
Yeah. Funny you should say that. I mean, aside from the name being Golden Brewery.
You just said it was golden.
I know, but anyways, okay. By 1880, the company's name changed to Coors Golden Brewery, as Adolf bought out his business partner as the venture continued to flourish.
Ooh, how much did he buy his partner out for?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. Not
I
a
wanted to
detail that's
know.
important to the story.
it's important to me.
It's not. No, give it up. It's hard to imagine, but these are the humble beginnings of the beer now reserved for the final rounds of beer pong or for day drinking floats down the river in inner tubes.
Coors Light.
Coors Light.
It's the same Coors?
It is the same Coors.
So did it start off with that spelling or did it evolve over time?
So the original surname of the family was the Kohrs, and then he changed it to Coors when he came to America.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
just said he changed it to a C. You didn't specify. the
Yeah,
rest.
I know.
Okay, cool.
I got tricky on ya.
I was gonna ask you then, but I
Yeah.
was like, nah, she'll cover it.
She gonna tell me.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Adolf Coors.
Adolf Coors.
Had no clue. Clue.
Clue.
Clue. Clue.
Clue. Coors dreamed of brewing the perfect beer.
Okay.
The backstory of this particular light lager is far more flavorful than the modern day brew itself. So watery, it almost seems predestined to be pissed directly back into a body of water by drunk teens.
Mhm.
Ah.
It's hydrating.
I was gonna say memories, but I don't know that it really has that many memories for me.
I'll drink it now. I don't care.
But I digress. We've still got a little bit of background to go, and some of it is actually serious.
Okay.
Yeah. Not too serious. Eventually, in 1879, the successful entrepreneur married and started a family. So, young man, actually, pretty successful entrepreneur, and I think that's kind of a cool. I mean, it's unfortunately this stereotype of like the American dream and pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, like thanks a fucking lot for that, but this is like one of those, it's old-timey and like
Yeah. And beer.
And beer.
Why didn't you get us cans of Coors for today?
I don't know. I'm busy doing some things.
Dropping the ball. Dropping the beer.
Could order us beer. I do have rubies in the fridge.
I mean, I can't drink it right now anyway, but I'm just saying.
All right. Adolf and Louisa Weber Coors went on to have 6 children together. You might think that Prohibition would have put the family business into a bit of a tight spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently not so, though. The Coors company simply pivoted to other products, producing cement, porcelain, and malted milk, whatever the fuck that is, instead of their delicious cold brewed beer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like malted milk would be like oat milk, I don't know for sure, but
I have no idea what it is. And it was the only little side tangent that I was like, I literally don't care.
I just think of like milk made from the grains, from the malt.
Yeah, maybe.
So like oat milk.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
I'll Google it later.
All right. Let me address the elephant in the room. Is
it me?
No. The name Adolf probably doesn't have the most positive of connotations for most people. However, this particular man died in 1929. Just in case you were still confused, thinking that perhaps he was tied to that other Adolf in some way. Because history can be so confusing. Also, for reference, that other Adolf spelled his name with an F and had only relatively recently been released from prison. This is so wild. This is so wild. I think at one point I knew this and it was fully absorbed, but I had to kind of go back and do a little bit of like a history lesson.
Ugh.
Okay, so the other Adolf, the one that he who shall not be named, had only recently been released from prison just in time for his rise to power that everyone wishes they had a time machine for. By the time this Adolf, our Adolf, with the PH, died.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So basically, the timeline is 1929, he gets out of prison and then immediately is like, I am going to start shipping people off in trains and do all of the worst. Just, that's my thing. Yuck. Anywho, just wanted to be clear. There's no relation there.
Okay, good.
Leaving the family business in the capable hands of his 3 sons, eventually what began as a passion for brewing turned the Coors family into millionaires.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's cool.
That's a lot of money back then.
Yeah. Yup.
What are they now? Trazillionaires?
Oh, I don't know. They're part of that like class of wealth that just feels like it shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Adolf Jr. would go on to pass the business down again to his son, Adolf Herman Joseph Coors III.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of names.
A lot of Adolfs.
Yes. Yeah, they kept going with that too, I gotta say.
You think it would
I think they got up to the 5th.
Oh.
And I'm like, hey, guys, but
Did you hear? That sucks though, because it's like it's not the name's
It's a
fault. It's
family
not
name.
even spelled the same
And it's not,
way.
exactly.
But
I
like, of
know.
course, anyone's gonna think automatically.
Right. They're like, well, the pronunciation, my ears don't know how to spell. He went by Ad. What? Oh my God.
My ears don't know how to spell.
I was like, I don't know if I.
It got me in the funny bone.
Okay, good.
It was like a late reaction, but that was funny.
I was like, what just happened? He went by Ad rather than his full name, G. I wonder why.
Yeah.
He was the heir to the Coors brewing fortune based in Golden, Colorado, and grandson of the original owner, son of Adolf Coors Jr., born January 15th, 1915. He was educated at the finest schools, including Cornell, his father's alma mater.
Wow. Dang.
It just made me think of Andy.
Yes.
Tuna. His staggering list of exploits included serving as the Quill and Dagger Society president,
Okay.
an athletic tenure as a semi-pro baseball player,
Wow.
and joining Kappa Alpha as a frat member in his college days.
Of course he's a frat boy. Beer.
Kind of makes sense. Actually, we're going to come back to that.
Oh.
Because you're not even going to believe there's so many funny little factoids in this.
Did he invent the beer bong?
No.
Darn it.
I know. If that guy gets murdered, we will cover it for sure.
Does this guy get murdered?
What?
No. You spoiled the ending.
I mean, did I though? Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you.
No.
Did I though? Okay. It would be weird to join as a married man. Because he joined a frat in college. We started chatting in between now and then, but I was going to say, because it would be weird to join a frat as a married man.
It would be.
In his later years.
Yeah.
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 So anyways, that was just like a fun little thought that I had when I was writing up the notes. I was like, yeah, he joined in college because that's when you do it.
Yeah.
Although they did make a Will Ferrell movie about that very premise in the early aughts. Old school.
Yeah.
Also involved a lot of beer.
Love that.
Yeah.
My boy Blue.
My boy. I'm going to die. He met Mary Urquhart Grant, and the pair married in November of 1940 and had 4 children. He took over the company at 45 years old, which apparently was pretty young to be at the helm.
Oh.
And I'm like, didn't people die
right?
a lot younger back then?
That's what I was thinking.
Anywho, I think the more surprising tidbit is the fun fact that he was allergic to beer.
That is so unfortunate. No.
Your father's passion passed down from your grandfather, who immigrated from Germany after interning with, I can assume, only the finest of beer makers. You're allergic to beer.
Shit.
Yeah. I think you can only head a successful brewing company in that case if your grandpa was the one that founded it, because that seems like it should probably be an automatic disqualification otherwise.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, we can't let you head this beer company because you would die if you drink our product.
Yeah, good thing it was already like taste tested flavors.
Yeah,
were set.
right.
He didn't
Can you
have to
imagine?
keep producing new beers and tasting them.
Yeah.
Ugh, that sucks, dude.
I know.
Do you think he was like gluten intolerant or whatever? Like allergic to gluten?
I don't know. Could have been that.
Can make a gluten-free beer.
Yeah. Could be. It could be so many things that they put in beer or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then, they couldn't really probably test for
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. I don't know that allergy testing was super advanced
Yeah. Damn.
or existed.
Or, hold on, this is a funny thought. Do you think he was like, oh, this makes me feel funny and throw up. I must be allergic. He
That's
just like
an
didn't
interesting
know
thought.
how
Yeah.
fear affected
He
people.
just was like, I don't know.
This ain't
Every time I
right,
drink this stuff,
guys.
I don't feel that good. It's like, well, you're doing it too much.
Yeah.
Do less.
Like, how did he realize he was allergic? I don't know.
I don't
It's so
know.
weird.
I'm not really sure like what his reaction was. So it's an interesting thought. Anyway, you're probably wondering when we're going to get back to that disappearance I was just talking about.
Yeah.
It was a while back.
Or the murder thing you casually mentioned.
I mean, I feel like the murder is implied oftentimes, but anywho, excuse me for getting caught up in the Oktoberfest vibes. I'm getting to it right now, as a matter of fact.
Fine.
On the day of his disappearance, Ad followed his normal morning routine as he always had, with a workout, shower, and coffee with his wife. Finally, he tended to their horses before leaving for work. That's right. Even though this was a long time ago and horses were something that probably a lot more people could have, they had horse money. Horse money, guys.
They're horse money rich.
They don't need horses for like working the land or transportation. They're just like, we just like them. We just want them.
They had cars back then?
Yep.
So they were fill your gas tank all the way up kind of rich.
Exactly.
Although it's not really it doesn't really mean much back then, but
yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we're not talking. He disappeared in 1960, so like, yeah, cars were for sure Z's around.
I kid about that, asking that because sometimes I don't know if it's really far back. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I get it. He grabbed a tan baseball cap and slipped on his favorite navy blue nylon jacket, like all of the dads have worn forever.
Aww.
And he was out the door. The only deviation from his typical routine was that he had taken a slightly different route than usual when he left his house in Morrison, Colorado at around 8 a.m. that morning. It placed him on a rural gravel road as his regular route was undergoing some repair work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Always that construction going on.
So much fucking construction.
Messing up your commute.
Couldn't have done any of that when we were in lockdown, though, huh? It's fine.
No, because no one could be around each other, even outside.
No, that wasn't true. I work in construction and there was definitely shit going on. Like people were working in that industry, in that field. Nonsense. It was that same day, February 9th, 1960, on a single-lane bridge over Turkey Creek near his home, that Ad suddenly went missing. Later that morning, as a milkman out on deliveries approached the bridge, he realized that his path was blocked by an international travel-all station wagon.
Oh,
it's a cool-looking car.
I love station wagons.
Really?
I do. I want one.
That's really weird.
They look like hearses. We've gone over this.
Pretty fancy vehicle, but the milkman had places to be, people to see, and milk to deliver.
Gotta get that milk.
That's right. So he honestly found this kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, this is like a 1-lane bridge.
Hello.
So he honked, but the vehicle appeared to be abandoned. So the milkman moved the car, noting a few things as he took in the scene.
How did he move the car?
Well, I'm going to explain.
Okay.
Turns out he wasn't just seeing red. Okay. He was still he was a little annoyed. He also noticed there was a hat on the riverbank below, probably cursing it as he tried to hurry on. Still, he thought it was odd that the radio in the car had been left on, and strangest of all, there were some chestnut-colored stains on the bridge.
Okay.
Sure as shit, this was later confirmed to be blood. But put a pin in that for now. As his family, law enforcement, and the public at large became aware that Ad was missing, the manhunt that ensued became the largest up to that point in history.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty famous guy, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But I mean, now you see, it's like, okay, that's weird. Dude just leaves his car in the middle of this one-lane road, leaves the keys in it. The radio's still on. There's a hat down below. Okay.
It's not good. Doesn't look good.
Doesn't seem great.
No.
And that's exactly what the FBI thought, because they were officially on the case.
Dang, that was fast.
I know. They were like, what's that, girl? And then they were there. They just like teleported. Anyways, code name Cornap.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you name it that?
No, I didn't.
Dang, Cornap.
I would have.
I'm going to take a core nap here in a minute.
Right? A ransom note addressed to Mary, postmarked February 9th at 3 p.m., arrived with a demand of $500,000.
Wow.
As is typical of ransom letters, it laid out very specific instructions for the exchange of the ransom. Now, this is a little disjointed, and I think that I typed this out for myself without the things in it that made it very difficult to read, but just the way that it's worded, everything about this, the way that it's worded, all of the mistakes and just awkward phrasing makes me want to punch my own face.
Man,
but
why can no one ever type ransom notes correctly? They're always insane.
Yeah, they're literally insane.
Maybe because like no sane person would make a ransom note.
Yeah. And I feel like also, I don't know, maybe going after a grown man. Like, it's one thing to try to kidnap a kid because it's somebody you can very like clearly overpower, I guess. But like, I don't know. Just doesn't seem, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so quote, bills used non-consecutive / unrecorded / unmarked 200,000 in 10s and 300,000 in 20s. Okay. It's interesting because they always have specific demands for like the denominations of the bills.
They want the small bills because large bills are conspicuous.
Exactly.
You got a 50? You must have stole that.
You must have stole that. $50 is basically like you can't even go out like for dinner for $50 anymore.
Yeah.
Anywho, back to this. Let's forget the capitalistic hellscape that we're living in.
I'd love to.
Okay. As was the common practice for kidnapper communications, an ad was to be placed in the paper, the Denver Post.
It's always with the ads.
I know, dude. That's just how it was done.
Is there a class on how to kidnap?
No, I think sometimes it's like somebody just comes up with an idea and everybody else that does it afterwards is kind of like, I like the way they did that.
Yeah.
That worked out well. Because so many of these kidnappings that we've talked about have just ended so well. And I guess the Weyerhaeuser kidnapping.
Yeah.
That one. As kidnappings go, that one ended well.
Not for the neighbors, but
I mean, not for a lot of people. Yeah, it was not great. Okay. Of course, it also instructed the reader that they would know if the police were called. How would they know?
Because they are the police. Oh, plot twist.
I know, right? They're gonna know. How would they know? They were like, we're gonna know.
Trust us.
So further, the ransom note stated, understand this. Adolf's life is in your hands. We have no desire to commit murder. All we want is that money. If you follow the instructions, he will be released unharmed within 48 hours after the money is received, which is what everybody would hope for, of course.
Yeah.
Tips quickly came into the FBI and local law enforcement, including multiple descriptions of a vehicle that had been seen numerous times, notably by that very bridge. Almost like they were like testing things out, running the whole flim-flam, the scheme.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm like kind of seeing what could have happened now.
Yeah. It was a yellow Mercury.
Oh.
That's
very conspicuous. Bright yellow.
Exactly. Thanks to one particularly vigilant witness, they even had a partial plate. He stated it was a 1960 Colorado-style plate. It read AT62. It may have been AT6205. I'm not 100% sure about the last two numbers, but like pretty good.
Yeah.
If you can give them somewhere between 4 and 6 digits of, I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Because how many yellow Mercuries are there in even the whole state of Colorado?
Hopefully not many, but
I would think not many. Yeah.
It is, what is it, the 60s, 70s?
In the 60s, yeah. The leading alpha character, A, was the county designation for Denver. So, some license plate facts. The license plate sequence AT62 narrowed their field to 4 vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah. And all were assessed as potential leads in the case. It was the vehicle that had been purchased just about a month prior to the disappearance that drew their attention, which is like, interesting. The person who, it's like, why don't you just throw up a yellow flag and be like, it's me?
Yeah.
As they went to track down the owner, it further seemed suspicious that he, Walter Osborne, an alias, had quickly moved. He'd quickly moved out of his apartment following the incident. So he bought the car like a month before the disappearance, and then all of a sudden, like, so wait a second. You're telling me that this Adolf guy, he got kidnapped, and then this guy moves out in like less than a week?
He was going to move out anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Planning it for years.
Totally. Been saying it for years. The prints found in this man's rental property matched Joseph Corbett Jr., who was already a convicted killer prior to his escape from a California prison.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He escaped?
Uh-huh. Yo.
And didn't get caught?
Not right away. He had abruptly stopped showing up to work at Benjamin Moore following the kidnapping attempt as well. So, like, buys a car a month before the kidnapping. As soon as the kidnapping happens, he moves. He's like, fuck it, I don't want to work here anymore. But he doesn't tell anyone. Just stops showing up.
I have questions.
Yeah.
How does an escaped convict, murderer person get a job, an apartment, and buy a car?
Brosa, if he's going by an alias, it's the 1960s of it all.
Not like check?
I mean, what's there to check if he's presenting them with another identity? No,
background check.
Okay, well, that wouldn't help if he's giving a fake name. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Walter or Joseph, whatever it is you want to call him, left town the day after the kidnapping. He had also recently purchased a typewriter, handcuffs, and a gun.
Wow. Weird combo.
So weird.
Why the typewriter?
I wonder. Maybe he's working on a research paper.
Yeah, totally. He's going to become a journalist.
He's writing up his findings from his miraculous escape from prison.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Writing a book.
He is in it for the science. Okay. He disappeared, leaving no trace of his whereabouts or that of Adolf. The kidnappers kidnapper or kidnappers. It's hard to say.
You should know.
You would think. The kidnapper or kidnappers never contacted the Coors family again following the ransom note. I only say that just because they had no idea who was responsible at the time, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I know, because obviously. What would come to light about the kidnapper was cause for serious concern. I mean, other than the kidnapping,
Yeah.
because that's cause for concern, and major media hubbub, because they're like, I'm sorry, did you see this guy escaped? He escaped from a California prison and now he kidnapped someone in Colorado. Cool.
That's intense, man.
It's very intense. Okay, so we're going to go back in time a little bit.
Back in time.
On January 13th, 1951, Corbett had been a student at the University of California. That was until his arrest when he was charged with the December 22nd, 1950 shooting death and robbery of Air Force Sergeant Alan Lee Reed.
Wow.
And
That's
I don't know
rude.
if you know this or not, but like if you kill people that are servicemen, law enforcement, or in the military, they hunt your ass down.
It's not good.
No, they take it pretty seriously.
They take it pretty personally.
Yeah, sure do. Go figure. Corbett was arrested while driving a stolen car with a gun in his possession that matched the type used in the killing of the sergeant.
Dude, you throw that in a creek.
I mean, yeah, because they did have fingerprinting technology back then. So, listen, he's a whole boatload, a busload of red flags and bad decisions. It's not great over here. His initial plea was not guilty.
That's not my gun.
No, I mean, I guess that's the move. He's just trying, to not get in trouble.
I was just driving with it in my lap, but it's
like,
not mine.
It's not even mine.
How'd that get there?
Yeah. He doesn't even go here. But Corbett eventually pled guilty to second-degree murder. For this crime, Corbett had been sentenced to 5 years to life, which feels like a wildly broad range. But do you, Judge? I mean, far be it from me to tell a judge what to do, which was to be served in San Quentin State Prison. Corbett was later transferred to a lower security section of California Institution for Men in Chino, from which he escaped along with another prisoner in August of 1955.
Probably shouldn't moved him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, man, I mean, San Quentin isn't exactly like Alcatraz, but like, I don't think you hear like a ton of people escaping from there. This other one, though, I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Low security. All right.
I wonder what would get you transferred to a low security. Like, do you just suck everyone's dick every day? And like, I'm so nice and good.
I mean, but the prisoners aren't the ones determining like who gets transferred, I feel like. But I don't know. So let's talk about the ransom notes more. That happened to be a source of some leads. The typewritten note had a unique watermark and unusual typewriter font. Yeah. The typist also left 2 spaces in between sentences, as was the common practice back then. Also, maybe these days too, for those of us that aren't complete mouth-breathing savages.
I literally don't know what you're talking about.
In between sentences, you like leave 2 spaces instead of 1.
I've never done that in my whole life.
I know. Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would you hit a button more than you need to?
But it's easier to read stuff. It's more profesh. Or that was the common practice.
I ain't writing no book.
I'm trying to write a book.
So this guy is like educated, is what you're trying to say?
Well, and also just like he is like familiar with typing, which
That's
doesn't
interesting.
seem significant. but also like nobody had computer classes back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we took typing classes throughout like going to grade school and stuff. That wasn't a thing back then. So people had to like learn how to use a typewriter. And yeah. Once they identified the particular model of typewriter used in the ransom note, a Royal Light portable typewriter, they went to the 2 retailers in the area that sold it. So there's only 2. And still you're thinking like, okay, this is the era of the typewriter. Like they're probably selling a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a clerk at one of the stores actually recognized Joseph Corbett. The man was positive he'd sold him that very make and model of typewriter, and it was a memorable purchase as he'd paid with cash.
Oh. Did people...
Which I feel like wasn't that remarkable back then, but I think typewriters were very expensive.
Oh.
And I think it would have maybe been... This is also in an era where just grocery stores and like large retailers, they took checks.
Right. Yeah.
What's a check?
Stupid.
Yeah. Anywho.
But they didn't have like plastic back then, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think credit cards were like a common thing at that point. So the FBI publicized Joseph Corbett Jr.'s description. 6'1" to 6'2", with brown hair, 160 to 170 pounds, thin and left-handed. Literally could just be probably like 50% of the dudes in Colorado or anywhere else in the country for that matter. He had worked in paint manufacturing, was competent in typing, and dressed neatly for the most part. He was originally from Seattle, Washington, born October 25th, 1928. Now, the man that had come up in the Seattle school system and even studied physics at the University of Washington had been placed on the top 10 most wanted list. Which, to be clear, in case this is your first foray into true crime, this isn't anything like the Forbes 30 under 30.
It's not.
Not like that at all.
Maybe he got them confused.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, wait, which list did I want to be on? Shit.
Right. Exactly. On September 11th, hikers in Pike's Peak found trousers and a penknife with the initials AC inscribed. Then Adolf's shirt was found with multiple holes in it 4 days later.
Oh, no.
They were pretty sure they were bullet holes.
Oh.
He had been shot twice in the back based on their findings, analyzing the shirt. The skeletal remains of Adolf were later located. The holes in the shoulder bones were examined by a pathologist and believed to be from a high-speed projectile. But they also matched up with the 2 holes found in the clothing belonging to Adolf Coors. So they just like took it and it was like they were trying to trace. So, like when you're trying to trace something and you...
Yeah.
It's not good.
Oh.
I didn't like it.
Okay. It's really weird though that at the beginning of this, we were like, never forget. And then 9/11 presents itself in the case.
I didn't even remember that. Oh my God.
Is that not weird? Kind of weird?
That's really weird. Oh
never
God.
Forget Ad. Sorry, I don't because Adolf.
Adolf,
But I knew it was wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Never forget Adolf Coors.
Yeah. The skull allowed the victim to be identified and confirmed through dental records.
Aww.
Elsewhere, the yellow mercury was going up in literal smoke. Literal.
It was on fire?
It was torched when it was found in Atlantic City near a scrapyard shortly after the remains were found. So he was probably like, this car is hot. Literally so hot. I'm gonna light it on fire. Because they were on to him.
Right.
And that's a pretty distinctive vehicle.
Yeah, he should have got something less yellow.
Yeah, it's not going to get better. Though the mercury had been badly burned, the serial number remained and confirmed that the vehicle belonged to Walter Osborne or Joseph Corbett. I'm really going to have to pick a lane with this guy's name at some point.
Call him Walter Joe.
Walter Joe. Walty Joe.
Little Walty Joe.
Walty Joe. Okay.
Little fucker.
But for now, let's get forensic. There were 4 layers of soil or shale. I don't know why I want to say shell. I want to say shall. It is shale.
Shale?
Shale.
I've never heard of this.
Uh-huh.
What the hell is a shale?
Yeah, it's a shale. So there were 4 layers of soil or shale. Let's just say detritus of some form or fashion in the samples taken from the undercarriage of the vehicle. So it's soil.
Okay. What's a detritus?
Detritus is like debris.
You see what she does to me?
I'm sorry. The first layer was sand, likely from the New Jersey coast, because that's where the vehicle was found, which makes sense seeing as it was recovered in Atlantic City. The second layer was unremarkable. However, another was consistent with shale at the kidnapping site. Okay. So shale is it's technically like if you talk to a geologist, they're going to tell you it's not just soil. However, am not going to. It's soil, okay? Moving on. It's just not that interesting until we get to something very specific about one of the layers and the shale. I'm going to come back to that. So.
You know who would find it interesting?
Who?
Bella, because she loves dirt.
God. Shut the fuck up.
I had to.
Carlisle. Meanwhile, Joseph was in Winnipeg, Canada, when 2 of his neighbors recognized him from his description in Reader's Digest, which was like a big deal back then.
Yeah.
Do people even know what that is anymore?
I subscribe to it.
You do?
No.
Oh, I was like, what? It's like, I am learning so much about you today.
I don't.
Okay. Though he fled before he could be arrested. He was said to be driving, Cassie, I simply can't.
Is it red?
A bright red Pontiac.
What?
Dude just cannot help himself with the flamboyant vehicles, apparently.
I mean, maybe he's like, well, they'll never suspect I'll get an even louder car.
Maybe. I don't know. That's kind of what I thought, but I don't know. But they always get caught by some stupid mistake. Okay. Often a minor vehicle infraction. Like this has happened with so many prolific serial killers that I'm just like, oh yeah, buddy, keep driving that bright red Pontiac.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait. Although I would argue always driving a primary colored vehicle is a major infraction when you're attempting to lie low after not 1, but 2 homicides, homie. Technically, that's not the law you broke, obviously. There's no law against red or yellow cars. Whatever. You get it.
There should be.
Yeah, I think they're hideous.
Get out of my streets.
Yeah.
I actually like yellow cars. I'm lying.
I don't like yellow cars.
I want a yellow Jeep. So cute and sunshiny.
Are you also going to have a gasoline fight and orange mocha frappuccinos?
Totally.
Okay.
Is that from Zoolander?
It sure is.
Okay. Then yes.
I can't remember if that Jeep was actually yellow or not.
I don't remember either.
It was definitely like an obnoxious color. May have been red.
I remember the gasoline fight.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but please don't have gasoline fights. Anyway, he got away that time somehow. But a rooming house manager placed another call to law enforcement. This guy must be carrying a lucky rabbit's foot holding a full leaf clover and constantly throwing salt over his shoulder because he dodged them again.
Oh my goodness.
But he didn't make it far. The Mounties spotted his car because of fucking course they did. Parked at a local hotel. So he literally didn't even go that far. When they knocked on the door, he said, "I give up. I'm the man you want."
Huh.
No, Walty Joe. You're not. You're not the man I want.
Very easy.
I know. At the time of his arrest, the case against him was fairly solid. Remember all of the dirt and the other manner of detritus I mentioned before?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Detritus. Well, they more specifically found rare pink feldspar minerals and fragments of granite in the undercarriage of the yellow Mercury that they already knew belonged to none other than this dude, Walty Joe.
That sounds pretty.
Yeah, it does, right?
Pink and granite?
Yeah. It linked him to the remains of Adolf Coors. In the courtroom, that went along nicely with statements he'd made to coworkers about a get-rich-quick plan. Maybe don't tell people.
Hey, I'm gonna...
He didn't say specifically kidnap, but he literally said a get-rich-quick plan.
It didn't even work. He didn't get any money.
No, this plan was so fucked from Jump Street, and I'm going to explain a little bit more. It's awful.
I feel like calling it a plan is very generous.
It actually was a plan. It just was a really bad plan. Yeah. Okay, so reenactment time. It was believed that when Ad approached the bridge, his would-be kidnapper was already lying in wait on the narrow one-lane bridge. When Ad approached him, it's believed that Joseph drew his gun. Were it not for the addition of firearms to their physical encounter, the pair were pretty evenly matched. So, I don't know. Who's two boxers that are real equal? That's this. I don't know. And I didn't care to look. It's unlikely that Ad would have been scared into submission easily, given his athletic build. He may have turned to run back to his vehicle in order to thwart the gunman, at which point he was then fired upon, landing 2 shots in his back. So remember how I said fucked from Jump Street?
I do.
Yeah. His so carefully thought out plan, foiled in an instant following Ad, and learning his routine was all for naught. Because he fucking blew it. He fumbled right there on the bridge. He's like, whoops. It's going to be real hard to turn him over.
Oh, no. Yeah, you shot him.
Twice in the back. I was like, no, he's getting away. And then didn't think about the consequences.
Did you think he was just going to come with you willingly?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, how did you see this playing out?
Maybe
I guess he just thought having a gun, that would just be enough to subdue him. But I'm like, this is kind of a man's man. He's healthy. He's in shape. You guys are equally matched physically. He probably figures that he can either run away real quick or he could overpower you. And you should be concerned about that.
Yeah. Man, I wish he just made it to his car and ran him the fuck over.
Though it hadn't gone unnoticed, probably because he was driving a motherfucking neon-colored Transformer. Oh my God. This fucking idiot. So many people saw him practicing, basically. He's
my God.
I'm over here just practicing a kidnapping.
Wait, didn't he go a different route that day?
Ad did. But he knew he would be going that way because he was following him and learning his routine and stuff. Yeah. It just happened to be that was one of the days where, yeah, he's going a different way because of the road work.
Did he plan the road work?
I know. I was like, was this like a fake construction crew? Like, I really went deep. I went like full tin hat.
I feel like he put an ad out on Craigslist saying, hey, show up at this job in your construction gear. I'll give you money.
He got in his time machine, went to a decade when Craigslist existed, and then okay. At trial, his defense tried to argue that the kidnapping should not be admissible in courtroom discussion since the federal charge wasn't brought.
I mean, he technically didn't kidnap anybody.
I mean, attempted for sure.
Yeah.
The prosecution argued that the botched kidnapping was what established the motive for murder, which I think they have the stronger argument.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the judge sided with the prosecution because he's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sorry about your luck. Nice, bright red and yellow vehicles. Sorry about your dad. Okay. Joseph Corbett Jr. was convicted of first-degree murder in March of 1961. He was sentenced to life in prison, though 19 years later, he would be released for good behavior. Following his release, he found work as a truck driver for the Salvation Army. He died by suicide in August 2009 at 80 years of age, having previously received a cancer diagnosis.
Good. I wish he was still in prison.
Yeah.
He escaped already.
Yeah, he escaped.
You don't let him go.
Yeah, doesn't seem like a great candidate for parole. What with the multiple murders and then like the escape, but whatever. He'd been a Fulbright scholar, and now he was reduced to this. Meanwhile, Adolf Coors was posthumously inducted into the Colorado Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame in 1998.
Aww.
I know, isn't that cute?
Did he ski and snowboarded?
I guess so.
Aww.
Yeah. He seemed like a super cool dude. But we may revisit some other problematic shit with his family that happened, like outside of his whole situation.
Just he didn't have anything to do with it.
Nah. Okay. No. I mean, not when it happened.
Not Ad.
I know. Not Ad. I know. Yeah, we may talk about the Coors family again. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I've been mulling it over.
Did any of them invent the beer pong?
Not that I'm aware of. I have no idea who invented it. I don't think it was the Coors family.
Someone go look it up and present us with an episode on who invented the beer pong. Beer pong and beer bong, both.
Yep. Well, that's about all I have to say about that. I may share with you like one other quote when we do the tarot. I have another quote that I thought was kind of cute. All right, so should we do some tarot?
Let's do her.
Let's do it. Do her. I hardly know her. Cups. We did the cups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's on page 88. What a wonderful number. Okay. Ace of Cups. Interesting. It's not like coming through for me. Well, I guess cups.
Yeah, the only thing would be the cups.
Yeah, but cups kind of make sense no matter what, because it's like, hello, cheers then. Okay. Keywords are new love, beginning a creative activity, and joy. A single large chalice appears on the Ace of Cups. Sometimes water flows out of it, fountain-like, beer-like.
Beer.
Or the cup sits in water. like how they make their beer with the cold mountain water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like, he was on a bridge, right? Was there water under this bridge?
Well, and I was thinking about that actually, like right before we started up for tarot, and I'm assuming yes. Yeah. As I'm starting to say, I'm assuming yes. I'm like, nope, there definitely was. Yeah. Yep. Okay. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, a hand emerging from a cloud offers the cup as a gift to you. This represents a gift of love, either of a personal or divine nature. Okay, the spiritual stuff is maybe is coming through to me in a way. Maybe I will read you that quote.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's making more sense than I thought. Okay. This ace reminds us of the Holy Grail, the most famous chalice of all.
Chalices! Das Boot?
Das Boot? Which some people believe now lies in the Chalice Well in Glastonbury, England. Oh, this is interesting too. It's the Wiccan blessing is the extra excerpt for this. Sharing a beverage in a chalice is a popular practice in Wiccan rituals. Sometimes the chalice is offered with the blessing, may you never thirst.
May you never thirst.
Yes.
Because you have beer unless you're allergic to it.
In that case, like, because the chalice is passed from one person to another. Oh, interesting. Kind of like generational passing of the chalice with this. So, okay, I'm actually like, I'm feeling some connections more than I thought I would. It may feature a long stem that makes it easier to handle. Okay, which makes sense because he probably would have been more of a wine guy.
Yeah.
The upright ace denotes a burst of joy, the kind that comes with falling in love.
Oh, you did talk about him and his wifey.
Yeah. Often its appearance heralds a new romance, but it can also represent the start of a creative project about which you feel happy.
Aww.
Or maybe one that just was so poorly executed.
Oh, I was just thinking of like his life and when did he get to be the head of the beer company?
When he was about 45.
And when did he pass?
I'm not sure.
Like, did he get like a good amount of time leading the beer company?
I think so. I don't. I'd have to go back and look at like the dates and numbers to like know. I don't know exactly off the top of my head how many years he was in charge.
Still, just makes me sad. That was like his family's dream, and
interesting.
Aww.
Huh. When this beautiful card shows up, it indicates you're on an emotional high and enjoying life. Sometimes it indicates the birth of a child or idea. In a reading about money, the ace suggests the beginning of a creative endeavor that promises to be profitable.
I don't think that's correct with the crime that happened. But
listen to the second part. Nurture it carefully and the seeds will bear fruit. So like he done did fuck it up.
Yeah.
If the reading is about your work, you may be starting a new job and feel enthusiastic about it. Perhaps this position will allow you to express your creativity or fulfill a dream, even though it might take some time. Huh.
This all totally just reminds me, because you did talk about the very beginning with his dad. His grandpa?
It was his grandfather that started the Coors Brewing Company.
That was like a really big part of this episode. So I feel like it's just picking up like that energy. And it was very fruitful.
Yeah, well, and I think there's some other connections too. I think that the fact that we drew like the Ace of Cups when it's, a literal beer story for,
you never thirst.
to totally mislabel it. But in a reading about love, the ace symbolizes the first stages of a romantic relationship. Nurture it so your love will blossom. Sometimes it represents awakening to divine love. Okay, that's still that kind of harkens back to the quote that I was thinking.
Yeah, read the quote.
Okay.
I have something when you're done. Don't let me forget.
There's a saying that he who dies with the most toys wins. Mr. Coors says. That's the psychology of materialism. If we can surround ourselves with enough toys, our lives are going to be complete and happy. But Mr. Coors, a member of a family whose company shares were recently worth around $400 million, says materialism won't do it. So this is like a more modern Mr. Coors. But there were just a number of different kind of quotes and sort of things that I picked up from articles about his family now has sort of, I don't know how religious they were or weren't prior to, his kidnapping, but it does seem like they, have sort of found their own spiritual path. So I felt like, to me, that kind of tied in. It was talking about like, divinity and things like that. I don't maybe love their specific religious path. I don't know for sure. I don't know them enough and their beliefs and everything, but concerning when you have conservative, wealthy people that are, potentially ultra religious.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I just think that maybe their faith, assuming that it's not unhealthy or unreasonable, maybe that's kind of helped them to find some peace in this situation. And, man, tough burden to bear being wealthy.
I know.
Although, I mean, I say that jokingly, obviously, but in this case where, they've lost a family member in such a horrible way. And the worst part about it is I feel like the ransom letter, we know it was postmarked at like 3 p.m. I don't know if he could have put it in the mailbox before he even went to go and, confront Adolf on the bridge.
Yeah.
But to me, the fact that he sent that letter and it says, I don't want to hurt this person. And he's saying, I'll return him unharmed as long as we get the money.
Yeah.
Knowing full well that, no, you won't. That just really messes with me. Like, ugh, that fucking sucks.
I know. And it was all for money too. Like if money didn't exist, this probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Which a lot of crimes, I'm sure, if money didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was all
love
a lot
of
of
money
crimes.
is the root of all evil, right?
Yeah.
I think that's one of those quotes where it's oftenly miscited, and I think that's the right version of it, but
I don't know.
Anywho,
I believe you.
Cheers, I guess.
Cheers. May you never thirst.
Ooh.
I have water today. But I still won't thirst.
Oh, look. My golden beverage.
Ooh. From Golden, Colorado.
It's definitely not.
Oh.
So you said you had something super important.
Yes. It was really important. I can't believe you didn't pick up on it. Well, I kind of can.
I don't know.
You said he left wearing a blue jacket.
Yeah.
And we got a big old blue card. Has yellow on it too.
A little bit of yellow. It's a yellow chalice. So yeah. Wow. A lot of primary color action up in here.
Yeah.
Yikes.
No red though. There's no red anywhere. We got the pink.
Yeah, for the feldspar. I was like, I don't know what it actually looks like. I assume it's probably not like metallic, but
looks
whatever.
Just like that.
Yeah. Listen, you are welcome for this beautiful altar.
It's bootyful.
It's bootyful. Yeah.
Well, should we go like stuff our beautiful faces or something?
Yeah, I'm very hungry. I know I probably should have ordered something already like 30 minutes ago.
Uh-oh.
I'm hungry an hour ago.
Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Ooh, spaghetti-os. Fish buttholes.
Why does... Okay. Never mind. I was going to say, why does that sound so good? And then you ruined it.
Honestly, you think it sounds good, and then you try it again as an adult, and you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Really?
It tastes like it's
remember the last
tomato
SpaghettiOs.
juice with like straight corn sugar syrup in it. It's disgusting. It's like really sweet.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't remember
good, you guys.
what SpaghettiOs are really all about. But
don't try it again.
Well, we'll see. I love doing things that I'm told not to. So
it's like way acidic too. It gave me really bad heartburn.
Really?
It's just like, don't.
Yeah. It's those nightshades, baby. You're like, I don't even know if there's any actual tomato in it.
Right? I don't know. They just extracted the acid from the tomato and mixed it with sugar. And that is SpaghettiOs.
Delicious. All right. Well, should we say goodbye to the people?
All right, let's do it. The creepy people.
Creepy people.
Have a creepy ass day.
We'll see you next
Tuesday.
Bye.
Unless you're in your bright yellow car doing crime.
And then we'll literally see you from a mile away.
And we saw you yesterday.